Hello, and today we're doing predictions for match day number 21 of the EFL Championship 2020 to 21 season. The theme of the week for this week, I really don't know what to do, but I'm going to go with Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds a go. And the song of the week is going to be by Bastille, and it is Snakes. I'll put it in the description, of course. But let's get straight into it. It is, of course, the start of a new era under Watford's new manager, Xisco Munoz. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting indeed. But let's see what happens. And the first game, we're going to get straight into it. No messing about. The first game to predict is going to be Watford against Norwich. Big game at the top of the table. We have to be getting this game and just thinking, let's go for it. Really hammer and tongs. No messing about. But I think we're going to win this one. And I'm going to say Watford 1. Norwich City 0, and the only goal coming from Ben Wilmot on 57 minutes. Let's move on to the next game. It's going to be Bristol City versus Wickham. Now, Wickham, their last game was that 1-1 draw, and they got a late goal to equalise in their match that they had against QPR, and I think they'll take confidence from that. But they are facing a Bristol City team that, you know, they have been up and down, you'd say. But I do fancy them to win this game, especially at home. So I'm saying Bristol City 2, Wickham Wanderers 0, with goals from Naki Wells and we'll say an own goal by the Wickham player that is known as Jakobsen. Now we've got a game between Nottingham Forest and Birmingham. Now, tough one to call this because, first of all, I don't know many of Birmingham's players. But second of all, Nottingham Forest, they've not had a good start, have they, really, to the season? It's been a bit of a nightmare from their point of view. So it's hard to know whether they'll keep winning games. Under Neil Warnock, they have been slightly better in the last few performances, and they really did fill their boots in their game with Birmingham, did Middlesbrough. But this week, Middlesbrough are facing Rotherham. Off the back of that, though, you've got to say that Birmingham will be low on confidence, so I think they'll concede more here. But I also think that Forest will concede as well. So I'm going to go with a thrilling game, and I hope it's as good as this. But I'm going to say Birmingham to get a draw here on the road. Forest 3, Birmingham 3. Now it's a game that is between... Oh, actually, before I do that, let me just tell you who I think will score the goals in that game. Well, first of all, I reckon it will be... Oh, I don't know. I don't know why I just typed into Google Birmingham 3, Nottingham Forest 3, and that's my prediction. That's not what happens. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. Anyway, so goal scorers for Nottingham. The first one is going to be Lyle Taylor. And then the second goal of the game will come from Birmingham. And it will be a goal from, let's go for Halinovic, or Halilovic, I'm pretty sure it is. Now we've got a goal for Nottingham Forest, and that is from the midfielder Harry Arter. Then Birmingham hit back with a goal from Pedersen. So it's 2-2 at this point. Then Birmingham go in front in this game with a goal from Michael San Jose. And finally, Forest get the equaliser with a goal from Scott McKenna. Now it's going to be a game between Derby County and Preston. And I think Preston will just edge this one because Derby have been low on confidence. They've not really got the results as with Rooney as manager. And I think Preston have been all right. They got the win last time, so I think they'll do it again. And I think it'll be another tight win for Preston. But I'll say 2-1 on the day, with goals coming from... it's a tough one, but I'll say the first goal for Preston will come from Paul Gallagher. And then the second goal for Preston, to make it 2-0, will come from Scott Sinclair. Might as well, from more Championship fantasy points. And then Derby get back a late consolation towards the end. And that consolation is scored by none other than Jordan Ibe. Now we've got a game that's between Blackburn and Sheffield Wednesday. And before we go any further, let me just remind you that Watford's game with Millwall in game week 22 is going to be called off. And also, Millwall's game this week with Bournemouth has been called off because of an outbreak of coronavirus cases in the Millwall team. So that's unfortunate for them, but their games will be postponed. So obviously there's just 11 games this week. But with Blackburn against Sheffield Wednesday, I fancy a big win here for Blackburn. I think, you know, Sheffield Wednesday have really been struggling. If it's not things off the pitch, it's things on it. And Blackburn, they are pretty good, and they have some good players like Harvey Elliott and Stuart Armstrong and Lewis Holtby. So I'm going to go with a 4-1 win to Blackburn here. I think it will be comprehensive stuff, and I think goal scorers on the day. Let's go for the first goal being Adam Armstrong, and then the second, Joe Rothwell. Then the third for Blackburn is going to come from a defender who is known by the name of, let's say, Derek Williams. So that's 3-0 at that point to Blackburn. And then Sheffield Wednesday will get back not an equaliser, a consolation. But who will score that consolation for Sheffield Wednesday? We'll go for a goal from Aidan Flint. And then finally, they finish it off with the fourth, do Rovers, with a goal from Adam Armstrong again. Right, let's move on to the game between Middlesbrough and Rotherham. And I'm going to go with a 2-0 win here for Middlesbrough. I think they have been quite comfortable in most of their games this season. And Rotherham have been one of the teams down there at the bottom. So I think it's not going to be a massive battering, because Rotherham will try and basically get themselves something from this game by being more cautious and defensively minded, but Middlesbrough will have enough to carve through them. So the first goal coming from Marcus Tavernier, and the second from Sam Morsey. Now we've got a game between Barnsley and Huddersfield. Tough one to call this. Just Barnsley are a good team. They have been quite good at home. Huddersfield, on the other hand, haven't been getting many results until, of course, they played us and got the 2-0 victory, which really will give their squad a bit of confidence. But I just like Barnsley at this point. I think they're doing well, and I think there'll be a 2-1 win to Barnsley with goals from Luke Thomas and Clark Oduor. And then the consolation right at the end for Huddersfield will come from Fraser Campbell. Now we've got QPR versus Swansea, and I'm going with a 1-0 victory here to Swansea. They sometimes grind out these 1-0s, and I think the only goal will come from the man that always scores for that team. It's Andre Ayew. And then it's going to be Reading taking on Luton in game week 21. And tough game I think this is for Luton, to be honest, because Reading, yes, they started the season amazingly, but they did drop off, and now they're starting to get back their confidence. And I think Lucas Strau is definitely going to get a brace in this game. The third goal for Reading, let's say it comes from the midfielder, Alpha Semedo. And now we've got a game between Cardiff and Brentford. Now this is quite a tasty game. You can see this one being quite tight, because they're both sides that should be going for promotion. Brentford have fallen away a little bit in terms of the way they started the season, but they still have qualities to rip up teams. And well done, Brian Mbeumo. He was just absolutely brilliant in the game recently, and Ivan Toney's very good as well. So I think Brentford will still have a good season. It's just they haven't been winning as many as they would expect themselves, and that's really the same thing for Cardiff. They've kind of had a few good results, but not been consistently amazing. So I think this is going to be a 1-1 draw for that reason, and I think the goals will come, first of all, for Cardiff from Morrison. He's had a few headers recently and unlucky not to score, but he will do this week. And then the equaliser will come on 83 minutes in the dying embers of the game for Brentford, and the goal won't actually come from Ivan Toney this time, but it will come from Brian Mbeumo, or Mbeumo, however you pronounce it. And finally, we've got a game between Coventry City and Stoke City. Now, if you'd have said this game probably before the season started, you'd have said, oh, easy Stoke City win. But actually, if you look at Coventry, they've actually had a bit of fight in them. And, Stoke have been impressive as well. But you saw in that last game how they were basically, it was backs to the wall stuff, and they were looking quite nervous. They got the win regardless, but I just feel Coventry could cause an upset here. So I'm saying Coventry 1, Stoke 0, and the only goal comes from Liam Kelly. That wraps up my predictions for match day number 21 of the EFL Championship. As I said, the song of the week is Snakes by Bastille. The colour of the week is going to be... I've got to be honest, I'm running out of colours, but no, we're going to go for pink. That's going to be the colour of the week. And I'm currently on an overall total of 463 points in the championship predictions. Last week, we got ourselves one correct score in the Swansea 2 Barnsley 0 game. Obviously, it was controversial stuff because of the Swansea thing about how the pitch was a bit torn up from the rugby games and stuff like that. But yeah, Swansea are going to be away from home this time, so they should get it sorted out ahead of game week 22. But yeah, I got myself a correct score in that Barnsley game. The Rotherham game, of course, was called off due to a rise in cases. I'm not sure if this Middlesbrough-Rotherham game is still going to go ahead, but maybe it will. I don't know. But I've predicted it anyway, in case. And then we got ourselves a correct goal difference and result in the Norwich game. I said a 3-1. It was 2-0. What a strike, can I just say, though. The second from Todd Cantwell was absolutely brilliant. And Emi Buendia he's pulling the strings in that team. Got the assist for the second and got the first goal. So Norwich look good to go up, to be honest, and I'm a bit worried about us. Watford, we need to show a bit more bite and a bit more attack. But with our new manager coming in, hopefully he can deliver us the goods. And I also got a correct goal difference and result in the Brentford win. I said a 2-0, it was 3-1. So again, I got a very, the same kind of score as the Norwich game, but just the wrong way around for both of those. And other than that, not a great week because we got ourselves, a correct result in the Middlesbrough game and a correct result in the Sheffield Wednesday win. But other than that, it was a bit of a stinker. So we got to get some good scores this week and hopefully we can get to that 480 mark. We're currently a total of 27 off it, so it won't be easy, but we've got to push. We've got to push. 17, I should say. 17 off it. But anyway, the Munoz era does begin here, and make sure you comment down below your predictions this game week and what your thoughts on the new manager. Is he going to do the bits? Well, it's going to be tough against Norwich on Boxing Day, but thanks for watching this video, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.